Hi, Object Coder. Um, we're going to talk a little bit about messages here. You can probably guess on this. And really, when we're dealing with objects, the most important thing we're really talking about is messages. So a lot of times you'll hear object-oriented programming. It's in the same way we could say message-oriented programming. They both are very important. Obviously, you need the objects, but you also need the messages. So what are these messages? So basically, we have an object here, we have an object here, and say hello. This object is telling this object B, it's commanding it or sending a message here to it to tell it to say hello. All right. So there's more information here. Spend a little bit of time in here, learn a little bit, and then iteratively. Don't get stuck. Just learn a little bit, come back, and we'll dive into it later too. Iterative learning. All right, let's take a look at some of the examples here. We have greeter. All right, we have an object called greeter. Here's the code for greeter, but more importantly than even the code is what we call the code document or the method headers. And these are the messages that we can send to this particular object. All right, well, we're going to learn the most when we actually do it. So let's pop into the try it here. I'm going to click try it right here. And let's say, don't worry too much about this. This is provided for us for the moment. We'll learn about this very shortly. But we have a greeter object here. We're going to send a message to it. All right, we do that by typing in the object name. That's the greeter object. Putting a dot there and then sending a message to it. What can we send? We could look through the code, but if we have the opportunity to look through a doc, a code doc, that's even better. Or also called a Java doc. In this case here, we could say hello in Spanish. So let's do that. And so we're sending the message say hello in Spanish there. All right, we don't have to send any parameters. It's showing right there. All right, let's take that for a spin, and let's hit F9. We'll run the code. All right, let's wait a second or two. Here we go, and right there, it says hola. So it's telling us, it's giving a greeting there, a hello greeting in Spanish. Let's send another hello type greeting. Let's say we want to do it in Indonesian. So we can say hello in Indonesian. We know that the greeter object will understand this message because it's right there. It's shown there for us. And we could also look through the code here, and right here we see say hello in Indonesian. So that's the code, the message that we can send. Let's again run it. I'm just going to run it right now. Hit F9 or click that button. And there's a hello in Spanish and a hello in Indonesian. Let's do a good morning greeting here. So again, we have a greeter object here, and we can send any message to it. Let's do a good morning type greeting. So we have to look through the code or the document. We're not always going to have a document, but we're lucky enough to have one. We should use it. Good morning. Here's a good morning greeting right there. And let's give that a run and see what happens. Wait a couple seconds, and there is a good morning greeting there. Let's do one more good morning greeting just for the fun of it. All right there. We'll type this in all the way just to kind of see what happened. And it's too much actually. Gonna copy paste it. All right. Here's our new greeting right there. Give that a run. By clicking the button right there or hitting F9, and there we have a new greeting, good morning greeting. So that's what we can do. Any messages that are supported by the object, we can send to it. All right, let's go try another object here. I'm going to skip over smart integer, give that a look, give that a play, more than even a look, play around with it. Let's take a look at point though, because it kind of relates to the challenge that is due. Let's look at the point object, and let's jump right into the try it. I think that's where we'll learn the most. All right, we have a point here. First off, we have this point, and we're going to set I am going to comment out some code here, and we are just going to focus on this method here, this test method. And as you can see, we have a point. I'm going to get rid of that. All right. And I'm going to say P. So what can we send to it? We want to set a value into it. A point has an X and a Y value. Let's just hop over here for 1 second and see what we have. Okay, we don't have any link here to coordinate system, but okay, so in our code, we'll see all kinds of references to point. A lot of our examples use the point object, and our challenges actually use the point object too. Here is an example of 4 points, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 is at the origin, it's called 0, 0. And then we have a point here, and a point there, and a point there. Point is it's an X and a Y value, is all that is. It's used a lot in graphics, and we're going to do quite a bit of graphics this semester. So it's an X and a Y value. So that is what a point is. So we have a point here we've constructed. We haven't given it any coordinates, so let's give it our X and Y value. So let's see what we can do here. If we scroll down over here in the document, what do we have where we can set a value? We have a set X right there, right? Set X. So let's set X to 100. All right. We want to set Y. We have a set Y value. It's there, right there too. Another message that we can send is set Y to 20. So both of these are messages that we're sending. First, we're sending a set X message, then a set Y. Now we want to print the object, and we can just do a print line right here and see what happens. Give that a run. All right, wait a couple seconds, and there it is. There's the point. It's at 120 as we would expect. Okay, let's do something a little bit more interesting here. All right, let's hop down to the move by test. Comment it out so we can run it right there. And what we're doing here is first we're setting a point there to 1,500, and then we're setting another point to 50 and 3. Okay, and we're gonna move P1. We're gonna move point P1. So first we're printing it out before the move. All right. And yeah, there we go, before the move right there. All right, and then we're also printing out P2. And then we're moving, sending the message move by. So where is the message move by? It is right here. There it is. Move by method, we know we can send it. We're passing, and we'll learn more about this part of it. We're passing a point in to that move by method. So here's the message we're sending to, which is 1,500, right? We're sending move by to it, and we're telling it to move by however much is in this P2 point. Enough talking, let's give it a run. That wasn't what I meant to do. How about that one? Okay, let's give that a run. All right, so we see here before 1,500, here's the second point. Basically, we're moving this point by the amount that's in this point, which we would then expect these to be added together. The X values, 1,050, that adds up, and 503. All right, we can do all kinds of different things here. We can, let's say here, now let's say we want to move it back to the origin, which is at 0, 0, right? So let's do that. Let's say P1, move to origin, and let's then print it out. Print line P1, let's see what happens now. Give that another run. And there it is. It moves back to 0, 0. So we can use any number of these methods, and I encourage you to do that. Just play around. Occasionally you might get an error. If I do something like this, accidentally type an N in there, I'll give that a run, and it should tell us it has a problem. All right, it's pointing to where the problem is right here, actually, right? And we could see right there that instead of PRINTLN, print line. It's got an extra N in there. We'd fix that up and then give that a run. Get rid of that glaring red, right? There we go. All right. That's the message. That's the introduction to messages. We'll get a lot, learn a lot more about this soon. All right, and that relates exactly to then the challenge. So the point challenge is very similar to the point that uses the point class. The challenge actually uses another class, an investment. So you're actually going to make an investment and see how much money you make, and then report how much you make for the challenge answer. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.